Hello children, good morning. Dear students, once again welcome you all for this video class. Dear students, in the previous class already we have learned about 4 chapters and I have already given all the words, difficult words, question answers, everything it is completed. So today I am going to start the new lesson, that is plateau and the desert regions. Okay. In the previous class already we have learned about the lesson northern mountains and the northern plains. Okay. So in that lesson already we have learned uh, all the mountains and the northern plains, is it? So in this lesson we are going to learn about the plateau and desert region. Dear students, first we will learn about the southern plateau. What is plateau? First of all we come to know the meaning of plateau. So plateau is a highland which is higher than the land around it. First of all, we come to know that what is plateau. Okay, plateau is a highland which is higher than the land around it and has a flat table-like top. So that is why it is also called a tableland. Plateau is also called a tableland because it is like a flat table-like top. So it is also called as tableland. Plateau is also called as tableland and it is higher than the land around it, and its top is like a flat table like top, so it is also called as tableland. Okay. Now location and extent, where it is located. Dear students, the region extending from south of the northern plains. The region extending from south of the northern plains to the tip of the Indian mainland is plateau region. Where is the plateau region? It is of a region extending from south of the northern plains. South of the northern plains to southern tip of the Indian mainland is a plateau region. The plateau mainly covers peninsular India. You know that what is peninsular India? A piece of land, it covers with 3 sides of water. That piece of land is called peninsula. So our India is a peninsula because you see the India map, it covers the land of India is covers 3 sides of water: Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal, and so Indian Ocean. Is it? So India is a peninsula. So peninsular India and is in triangular in shape. Okay. So broad in the north and narrowing down as it extends southwards. It is thus called the peninsular plateau. Because of this reason, it is called a peninsular plateau. This region is bounded by hill ranges. First of all, this plateau region is bounded by hill ranges like Aravalli range, like which are the hills are bounded here? Aravalli range in the northwest, Rajmahal hills in the east, Eastern Ghat to the west. Eastern Ghats to the east and Western Ghats to the west. Okay, first I will write down the borders here. Okay, first of all, a plateau is a highland which is higher than the land around it. And has a flat table like top. Table like top. So it is also called as tableland. So it is also called as tableland. So our peninsular plateau, it is bounded by Aravalli range, to the northwest. Rajmahal Hills. In the east, Eastern Ghats. To the east, and Western Ghats. To the west. So, our peninsular plateau is surrounded by Aravalli Range to the northwest, Rajmahal Hills to the east, Eastern Ghats to the east side, and Western Ghats to the west. Okay. So, the plateau has a rocky and uneven surface. How the plateau is? It is of rocky and uneven surface. Okay, the peninsular plateau covers the states of Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Odisha, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Kerala. These are the states covers the peninsular plateau. Once again I will repeat, which are the states that covers the peninsular plateau? Here Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Odisha, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Maharashtra, and eastern part of the Kerala. Okay, the main cities of this region are Bhopal, Indore, Hyderabad, Mysuru and Bengaluru. These are the main cities of this region. The river Narmada divides the plateau into two parts. Here, which river divides the plateau into two parts? The river Narmada. It divides into two parts, that is Central Highland in the north and Deccan Plateau in the south. It divides the river Narmada divides the plateau into two plateaus, that is Central Highlands and second part is Deccan Plateau. Okay, so first of all, here river Narmada divides this plateau into two parts, that is Central Highland to the north side and Deccan Plateau in the south. First, we will learn about the Central Highlands. Okay, the first part, it lies to the north, Central Highlands. In this, Malwa Plateau in Central Highland and Chota Nagpur Plateau in the east together make the Central Highlands. Which plateaus make the Central Highland here? Malwa Plateau in the central India and Chota Nagpur Plateau in the east together make the Central Highland, and it's bordered by Aravalli in the northwest, Vindhyas in the south, Chota Nagpur Plateau in the east and Rajmahal Hills in the northeast. This Malwa Plateau lies in the center and it is bordered by Aravallis in the northwest and Vindhyas Hill in the south. Rivers originating in the Central Highland are Chambal, Betwa and Son, and they join Ganga and Yamuna flowing northwards. Narmada and Tapi originate in the Vindhyas and flow westwards. This is about the Central Highland. The Chota Nagpur Plateau covers the state of Jharkhand, northeastern Chhattisgarh and northern Odisha. The fine black soil in the Malwa Plateau region is suitable for growth of cotton and oil seeds. So, this all things are about Central Highlands. Now, the next part is Deccan Plateau. Okay, about the Deccan Plateau, the Deccan Plateau is the largest plateau in India. It extends from river Narmada to the southern tip of peninsular India. It is bounded by Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats on the western and eastern coast respectively. Next, Western Ghats includes Nilgiri Hills, Anaimalai Hills and the Cardamom Hills. The hills of the Western Ghats are comparatively higher than that of the Eastern Ghats. Both the Ghats join each other at the Nilgiri Hills. This is information about the Deccan Plateau. Once again I will tell you, the Deccan Plateau is the highest plateau in India. It extends from river Narmada to the southern tip of the peninsular India. It is bounded by the Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats on the western and eastern coasts respectively. And Western Ghats include the Nilgiri Hills, Anaimalai Hills and Cardamom Hills. The hills of the Western Ghats are comparatively higher than that of the Eastern Ghats. Both the Ghats join each other at the Nilgiri Hills. Okay, this is about the Central Highland and Deccan Plateau. Now we will study about the rivers. These rivers in this region are seasonal and they depend on rain for water. Mahanandi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri are main rivers originating in this region. These rivers rise in the west and flow eastwards, where they eventually empty into Bay of Bengal. Godavari is the longest river of Deccan Plateau region. Narmada and Tapi are only rivers that flow from east to west into the Arabian Sea. So these are about the rivers in the plateau region. Next, these rivers form several waterfalls in their course because of uneven land. The Jog Falls on river Sharavati in Karnataka is the highest waterfall in our country. Is it? The Jog Falls on river Sharavati in Karnataka is the highest waterfall in our country. So, large dams are constructed across the Deccan rivers to store water. The Nagarjuna Sagar Dam across the Krishna River is one such example. Okay, so large dams are constructed across the Deccan rivers to store water. The Nagarjuna Sagar Dam across the Krishna River is one such example. Dear students, here one activity is given. You have to tick mark the correct answers. Okay, the Deccan Plateau extends till Kanyakumari. So, dear students, open your page 268. In this one activity is given. You have to tick the correct. If it is correct, you correct it. If it is wrong, you make it wrong. Okay. So, first one is the Deccan Plateau extends till Kanyakumari. Yes, this answer is correct. Eastern Ghats are made of small hill ranges. Yes, this also correct answer. The rivers in the southern plateau are non-perennial. Yes, this is also correct answer. The rivers in the southern plateau are fed by melting snows in the mountains. Yes, it is also correct. The Deccan Plateau is located between the Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats mountains. Yes, this answer is also true. Now, we will study about the climate of this region. The Malwa Plateau region experiences a pleasant climate because of its elevation. In other parts of the southern plateau, the summers are hot and dry. Winters are cold. This type climate is there in the plateau region. Now, soil and vegetation. What type of soil is there? What type of vegetation is going in this plateau region? The soil in the plateau region is black and red in color. First of all, what type of soil is there here? The soil in this plateau region is black and red in color. Farming is the main occupation of the people living here. In this region, formation or agriculture is the main occupation of the people. Then, apart from cotton and oilseeds grown in the black soil, farmers also cultivate other crops like rice, millets, groundnuts and sugarcane. So, black soil is famous for growing cotton and oilseeds. But apart from this, farmers are growing here rice, millets, groundnut and sugarcane. The different kind of wood from the thick forests of Western Ghats and northern eastern region. of the plateau is commercial importance. So this type of vegetation is there in the plateau region. Now about the minerals. The Chota Nagpur plateau is rich in minerals like coal, iron, manganese, bauxite and mica. The plateau region is the most mineral rich region of India. What type of mineral you will get from here? In the Chota Nagpur plateau is rich in minerals like coal, iron, manganese, bauxite and mica. So these are the famous minerals. The plateau region is the most mineral rich region of India. Now this is about all about the part that is plateau region. Okay. So now whatever we have learned, this is all about the plateau region or southern plateau. Now we are going to learn about the desert area. Okay. So about the desert. Desert are areas that receives very little or no rainfall at all. The temperature here is extreme, either very hot or very cold. There are little vegetation growth in such regions because desert area is completely the land of sand and here very little or no rainfall. So and in this area temperature is very harsh or very extreme and this desert area is either very hot or very cold and very little vegetation growth in such region. In this, the Thar Desert or the Great Indian Desert is a large arid region lying in the northwest part of the Indian subcontinent. The Thar Desert or the Great Indian Desert is a large arid region lying in the northwest part of the Indian subcontinent. It is characterized by sand dunes, uncultivable soil and minimal vegetation. Camel is the main animal here. This physical feature spreads across India and Pakistan, forms a natural boundary between two countries. Most part of the desert lie in the state of Rajasthan. It also extends to Gujarat in the south and Haryana and Punjab in the north. It has the Aravalli mountains to the east. So this is about the desert area. So the Thar desert is covered with sheets of sand which form sand dunes at places. Due to little vegetation to hold the sandy soil, together strong winds in this region can shift large amounts of sand. Such events are called dust storms. So they lead to shifting of sand dunes from one place to another. So this is about the desert. Now what type of climate is there in this desert? We will study, that is about the climate. The desert remains hot and dry throughout the year. What type of climate is there here? The desert remains hot and dry throughout the year. The region receives very little rainfall, which makes it barren and dry. During summer days are very hot and nights are very cool. During winters, days are warm and nights are very cold. So this type of climate is there in the desert. Now vegetation and wildlife. What type of vegetation is going here? Vegetation in Thar is scanty due to scarcity of water, because no rainfall, so no water. So due to scarcity of water, vegetation in the Thar is scanty. So thorny shrubs and scattered bushes which require less water are commonly found here, because without water which type of plants will grow here? Shrubs and scattered bushes. So why this type of plants only growing? Because of which require very less water. So these plants generally have long roots that reach the deep underground water. Examples of such plants include cactus, kikar, and bubble. Oases are also found in some places, and an oasis is an area in the desert. Is it? So, where the underground water comes to the surface and because of which some greenery is seen around it. Commonly, animals such as camels, called the sheep of the desert, black books, chinkaras, and great Indian bustards are found in this area. Some of the other animals found in this region are red fox and caracal, a type of wild cat. Such type of animals we can found in this desert area. Okay, dear students, I think you have understand about this lesson. Dear students, I will just give you a suggestion. Just sit with your elders and once again go through the lesson, then you will understand about the plateau and the desert lesson. Till here today I will stop, and in the next class I will continue the part water system in this Thar desert area. Okay, thank you, bye.